Hey there. Welcome, prospective Armada 4 team member. I just want to start by thanking you so much for being willing to potentially help me. I'm currently a medical student, and oh my gosh, things are crazy. I study 24/7, and things are about to ramp up come January 2022 for the next a year after that. So I just can't thank you enough for being willing to help me along in this project, and I think together we can create something really great. Now, the biggest hurdle for folks in order to try and help me has been figuring out how to download and just get Git working. And so, Git, what do you ask, is a way for us to kind of save our progress all as devs. Sort of like saving a game progress when you're playing a video game, and it's a state that you can go back at any time and start again from there. That's a very simplified version of it. It can get a little more complicated. You can create branches, and so I don't know. I would think of it like timelines. You have your main prime timeline, then you can create your Kelvin branch, and then if you really want, if you want to work separately on a part, you can one of you can be on the Kelvin branch, and the other can be on the main prime branch. But I would encourage folks to not to kind of try and work discreetly on the same branch if possible, and not let your branch divert too much, because imagine if you worked on, one of you were the Kelvin, one of you was the prime timeline, and you got like all the way back to the TNG timeline and tried to merge. Then you'd have to make a lot of decisions on what actually happened in the timeline, the merge timeline. Did Vulcan get destroyed, or did it not? And the longer that you've gone diverging, the more complicated it will be to bring things back together. But anyway, all we're doing today is we're going to download the project. We're going to get you set up with Git, and we're going to download it, and you're going to be able to open the work I've done on Armada 4. And so I'm just going to have you start by, and this should be in the description of the video, going to git-scm.com. I want you to go to downloads and select what you have there. It'll start downloading. I, of course, already have Git downloaded, so I don't have to do that step. But once it's downloaded, just go through the install instructions. Yeah, just click next and go through all that. Then I want you to go to, oh, my bad, gitlab.com/users/sign up. Otherwise, it's going to ask you if you want a free trial. And no. If you go here, you can make your account. Don't worry about it. You're not going to be charged. This is free for me. So yeah, you're going to go through, make your account, get registered, do all that. I already happen to have a GitLab account. So there are a lot of Git clients, which means basically a user interface, and we've tried them, and that is probably what has caused the most grief in Armada 4, is that the commands just don't work. So there's no way to avoid it. We have to go through old school terminals, and guess what? It is much quicker, much easier this way, even though it seems intimidating. Don't worry, using the console is actually going to feel pretty cool after a bit. So go to start, just type in terminal or command. My bad, I have a Mac too. I like to run as administrator. And the first thing that we are going to do is we need to make sure that Git is actually installed. So we're going to type git -- version. And what do you know? It actually shows up as a thing. So that's good. And essentially what we need to do is we need to link our GitLab account with our computer. So we have to tell it our username and password. Actually, not scratch that. Password gets a little more complicated. We don't actually, we link, we authenticate through like securely through a different means called SSH, and we're going to get to that after this. We're just going to specify the name of our account using the terminal right now, or the command prompt. So type git config -- global, and then now we can specify our username, and how you find your username is you just go up in your GitLab account, you go click on this thing right here, and it says right here, I'm at Westerlon. So we will go back to our command prompt. Oh. And in quotations, I will type at Westerland, bam. And then now we can check to make sure that it actually took it. So we'll just type that without specifying what it is, and it should return at Westerland. Make sure that you aren't typing at Westerland. Make sure that you're typing what your username actually is. So now we need to actually specify what the email to our username, to our GitLab account is. And so we do that by typing something very similar, git config -- global user.email, and then you're going to type in your email. I, of course, am not going to do that because I already have mine pointed to the right email. But then when you're done, you can do something similar to what we just did there and just do -- global user.email. My apologies. And yep, there we go. There's my email. That verifies that it took it. And then if you want to see more information, you can type git config -- global -- list, and it will give you all of your stuff. Now we are done with the command prompt for now. Inside of a folder that you want all the project files that we want to work off for Armada 4, you can now right click and go down to gitbash here. And the first thing that we're going to need to do is notice how we only specified a username. We have not specified a password. We don't actually use your git password. We do this really weird thing called an SSH key, which basically lets GitLab kind of know the signature of your computer. And it will then create specific keys for each individual project, but sorry, that's convoluting things. All we're doing is we're creating a key that's basically going to be like a password to link Git and your computer. And so we need to do SSH inside of a git bash. So it's like another command prompt, but it's another special kind of one with different colors. ssh-keygen. And then we need to tell it where we want it to save. Now, probably what you're going to want to do is just leave it where it defaults to. And so you can just press enter. I've already done this, so it's going to tell me that it already exists. So you should not see this, but you know, if you do, you can probably just say N for no, and then go exactly to this folder right there, which I have here, and it should have created two keys. One is, you know what, I actually should go through the other steps because, so I'm just going to do, I'm going to save it at a different folder, so that way it doesn't overwrite what I already have. So ssh-keygen. In order to copy and paste in this git bash, it's really weird. You press enter, you select something, you press enter to copy it, but if you already have something on your clipboard, like I do here, you know, Control C over here, but here you just right click. Oh, my bad. Copy. Fascinating. Alrighty, I'm just going to show you what happens if you do go through that. It's going to ask you for a passphrase. I don't know, I just leave it empty. Enter it again, and then bam, it should have saved saved to there. And then we will go back to where it defaults. Yeah, it typically names it ID RSA, Notice that one of these is a pub file, and this is the one you want. This is something called a private key, and I've been told for security reasons you want to make sure that no one ever sees the text that's in there. But here it's fine. We will. You can use it. You could use any text editor. I use Sublime, but like Notepad would work. And you need to take this and copy it. Now we need to go inside of our GitLab account, and up here is, you can go to the drop down here, you go to preferences, and then down here is ssh-keys, and we're gonna add one. So this big box here is where you paste all that information, and then you can give it a title like desktop, and then I would leave that empty. You click add key, and then notice I have a couple keys already added here. At this point, you need me to add you to the project, and so at this point, reach out to me with the username and email of your GitLab account, and I will add you as a dev to the project. Once you have access to the project, you can go into the project. You'll see like a, you can click up here to kind of see everything. You'll see the project I have, Armada 4 there for you. You click on it, you go to clone, and then now you can clone with SSH, and that's exactly what we've set up here. And at this point, we're going to go back to the project folder that we want to download the project into. We're going to go gitbash here. We're going to type git clone, and then we're going to paste that you can right click and paste the SSH URL that we just copied, and press enter, and it's going to download everything, and that will take a few minutes. While that is doing that, I'm going to need you to go to unity.com/get-unity/download. Link is in the description, and you're going to download Unity Hub and install that. Once you have installed Unity Hub, you're going to open it. There's kind of a bunch of tabs right here. I want you to go to installs, and at this point, write me again, and I will tell you the current version of Unity. And you're gonna click add. We like to use long-term releases, so that way it's more stable. You'll just click next, and run that. Install it, and then after that, you're gonna go in these tabs back up to projects. Once it has finished downloading, you will go to this folder right here, this main root folder, and you will add the project. Bam, you'll paste it there, and you'll click on it, you'll select the folder, and it will add it there. You're going to make sure you go down and you click the correct version of Unity that you are in. And then, so once the Unity version is the correct one, you can click that. I'm just going to confirm for right now. Oh, hello. I already have it open. And when you first open it up, it might give you some console errors. I just want you to kind of clear everything. If it's still giving you errors, then I want you to exit out and go back to Unity Hub and reopen it again. If it's press clear, if red messages are still populating, then I want you to go to Assets and then Reimport All, and be patient. But it just kind of needs some time to think and some nudging when you first upload it. It's just trying to get oriented to being on your computer after being on someone else's computer. And so with that, you should have the project open. You can click play, and oh, hello there. And voila, here's the rudimentary main menu I have going. And with that, I thank you. And stay tuned for more Git tutorials. From there, I recommend you watch the tutorials I made for Dakoko, or David, about a year ago, who is trying to contribute to the project. But I think the Marines snatched him away from us. So if you hear me say David in those tutorials, that's who I'm talking to. But those are basically for anyone who wants to get oriented with the project, who's interested in being a contributor to the team. And again, I thank you, and best of luck. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions.